How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at 3 amazing methods to level up your weapons in New World as fast as possible. Before we get into that, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. Now, let's get into it. To start with, when leveling your weapons, it's always best to be on double XP weapon tokens, which tons of these are given away on the free season passes, so you should have a few of these on your account already. And then, also having the All Together Now music buff on will also net you tons more XP. But you need to be in a group for that, so even if no one is around you, maybe have a company member or a friend group up with you just to get that extra XP. Also, respeccing your attributes into the weapon you want to level will significantly speed up your kills and gain you more XP. You can even go as far as putting on gear that makes you better with that weapon, but I don't feel like going that far is needed. Attributes should be enough. On screen, you'll be seeing a chart of all the XP required to hit each weapon level, so if you want to do any calculations, you can use that as a baseline. As you level your weapons up, choosing AoE skills and putting your points into perks that increase damage will significantly increase XP rates. Don't worry if they're not the abilities you want to use in the future, you can always reset them and choose new abilities after you've hit max level. And finally, all of these methods are easily soloable, but of course if you go in a group, you will get through the kills significantly faster and you'll end up with better XP rates. If you advertise in recruitment chat that you're leveling weapons in either of these methods, chances are you'll have a few people messaging you to join in on the fun and increase your kill speeds. This is also an updated version of a guide I made several months back, as some methods have changed. Now that that's all out of the way, let's get into the 3 methods. Starting with arguably my favorite method, and the method I like to call Baby Thorpe. This is a method that has changed since the last video, as his location has moved, and it's not as good of a location as before, but it's still really good for leveling weapons, especially in a group. To get to him, you're going to want to head to Great Cleave, and teleport into the Battle Class Shrine, before making your way a bit west to the Battle Class Crossing. Once you have entered that area, a mini event will start called Hounding the Master. Simply go through all of the steps of this event to defeat Thorpe, and then continue the process over and over to keep getting tons of weapon XP. If your server is very populated, this area is usually pretty busy, and there may be a couple people here already leveling their weapons. Simply join in their group and get to grinding. If there's no one there though, you can post a recruitment chat that you're grinding weapon XP at Baby Thorpe, and you can get a couple of people to come join you. This will increase your XP rates per hour significantly, but if you can't find anyone to come join you, this method can also be done solo, but just at a bit slower XP rates. But let's quickly go over what you'll be doing during this mini event, in case you're a bit confused. The first wave will see you killing any 9 enemies around this area to progress to the next phase. I like to lure them all in and then mow them all down at once to speed up this process. After that, you'll get a 10-second intermission before going on to wave 2, which will have you defeating another 5 enemies in this area. What's nice about this wave is that they all run towards you, so I like to just group them all up into a ball and then take them all out at once. Then you'll have another intermission before facing wave 3, which will see you taking out 3 of Thorpe's lieutenants. They're really easy to kill, and like with the previous waves, you can group them up together to speed things up. Then, you get your intermission before getting 60 seconds to speed kill as many enemies as you can. In the 4th wave, survive the invading swarm. This is the wave where you can significantly get the most amount of XP, and if you're in a good group, this wave can see you getting thousands of XP in short periods of time. Just run around grouping and taking out mobs throughout the next minute, trying to get as many kills in as possible. If you're alone, maybe target the weaker mobs, like the crawling mobs, to get easy, fast kills for a ton of XP. If you're working as a group, make sure to spread out well to maximize this round to its fullest potential. But once that wave is over, you'll get a short intermission where having to take out Baby Thorpe. He'll spawn out of a portal and begin attacking you. He's very easy to take out, but gives a really good XP chunk when defeated. So I like to have my secondary weapon as something that I find harder to level up, like a life staff for instance, and then use that weapon to kill Thorpe to level it, using my main, stronger weapon to deal with the mobs before he spawns, allowing me to level both at once, without the weaker weapon slowing down my grind. From there, just wait a few seconds, and the event will restart. Do everything over, and then just keep repeating the process until you have all the weapons you want leveled maxed out. The more you do this method, the better you'll get at it, and eventually, it'll become so second nature that you can just do it on the side, without thinking much, while watching a series at the second monitor. This is also a great spot to refill your Azoth, if you're ever running low. But don't worry, if you don't like this method, I got 2 other great methods you can try out. Next up we got another great method in which you're going to want to head down to Restless Shores for. Teleport into the Sisyphus Shrine and then just walk a bit north to the first of 2 pirate camps called Channelview Post. In here, make a run around the whole camp, getting close enough to each enemy to gain aggro from them, and once you have them all pulled, just turn around and mow them down. These guys are leveled in their mid-40s and hit very low, so even with tons of them pulled, it's still really easy to solo grind them down. While they're respawning, you head to the next camp right beside it called Ocean View Post, and do the same as you did in the first camp. Then head back to camp number 1, and they should have respawned by this point. Just continue the process from here, going back and forth between spots. This works for any weapon, but of course weapons with more AoE helps a lot when you're soloing. Also, groups will speed up the process. Plus, it'll allow you to gain your XP buff. Once you've run the route a few times, it becomes second nature, and so easy that you can throw something on the second monitor and grind your weapon levels out on the side. This method is a bit more click intensive than the Thorpe method, but still a phenomenal way to level your weapons, and it's my second favorite way to do so. And finally, we have the Elite Points of Interest method. Basically, any of these elite areas works, but I like to stick to Brightwood Isle, since it's the lowest level one, and I can get through more monsters quickly. To get here, you're going to want to teleport into either of the shrines around the island, and then proceed onto it. Just like in the previous method, pull a bunch of enemies, and then turn around and wipe them out. Because these are elite level enemies though, with low level weapons, and depending on how good your gear is, you might want to play around with a few of the enemies first to see how many is good amount for you to pull. They are still pretty weak, but certain enemy types can be a bit of a pain, so get a feel with how many you're comfortable pulling at a time, and then go from there. Just keep going back and forth across the island, killing everything as they respawn. Do be warned though, the Gravedigger mobs can be a bit annoying at times due to their turnaround move, and they have high HP. So sometimes if you have a lot of them aggroed already, you might want to turn around and finish them off before getting more. Also, the exploding enemies are easy free XP if you play your cards right. These are the only monsters that you need to tag with a hit from the weapon as you go by them. Then, simply keep running your route, and within a few seconds they will explode, giving you free XP for one hit. If you do not hit them, you will not get credit, so make sure to tag them. You can rack up tons of XP grinding here, and it's a great spot, but because the mobs are a bit more dangerous, I find it's more click intensive than the other methods, and that's why I have it down as my third favorite spot. If you're planning on using the weapon you're leveling as your main weapon though, it could be a great spot to level it while getting used to some of the skills and mechanics of that weapon, since these mobs will take a few more hits to go down. But that covers the 3 best spots to level weapon XP in New World. I'll give a quick special shout out to chest runs and portal runs as another viable method. Simply join any of the trains being advertised in World Chat and have the weapon you want to level equipped, and you should get tons of XP just for following your teammates around, and you'll be making some good gold on the side as well. But let me know which is your favorite method. Have you tried all of these? And which is your go-to spot? For me, it's hard to beat Baby Thorpe. And also, if you have any other spots that I didn't mention but you enjoy to grind in, then let me know in the comments below, so we can let other people know other cool spots to be grinding their weapon levels. Also, while you're at it, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video, and if you'd like to learn how to make tons of gold, click on the video to the left. Or, if you'd like to learn how to level up quickly in New World, click on the video to the right. And a massive shout out to all the channel members and patrons who help support the channel, seen on screen now. Links on how to become a member in the video description below.